This morning, Leader, I would like to bring up once again the revolution in Iran and the ongoing well-publicised protests led by the women of Iran. It is now day 55 and the reports state that almost 30,000 are imprisoned. 550 people have been killed, of which 41 of these were children, the youngest a 2-year-old. Over the last 10 days, security forces have been firing live ammunition at peaceful protesters in Khash, Sistan and Baluchestan. In one day, 82 Baluchi people have been killed in Zahedan, the provincial capital of Iran's Sistan and Baluchestan, according to Amnesty International. I, along with other members here in the Seanad, have been approached by the current Iranian ambassador to meet with him to discuss the situation here in Iran. What concerns me more was the attempt by some Iranian hacker to access my personal online data last week. I do not need to remind this House that the regime is working behind closed doors in every democracy here in Europe. We know what can happen to people when they speak up against this regime. Ireland has not been a good ally, or Iran has not been a good ally to Europe in this current war. Their current relationship with Russia has placed them in opposition to Europe. Their continued weapons sales to Russia violates a Security Council imposed arms embargo. The Iran nuclear deal, wherein the EU and the US are negotiating with the regime, surely has no merit when this regime is being rejected by its own people. At a time when Ireland holds a position on the UN Security Council, we have a voice of power. As an independent here in this House, I hold no power. I must rely on the government parties to do the right thing. Germany's government on Thursday last urged its citizens to leave Iran or risk arbitrary arrest and long prison terms there, warning that dual nationals were particularly at risk. I have no idea how many Irish citizens are living there. Surely we too should be looking to protect our citizens in Iran. Ireland plans to reopen our embassy in Iran in March 2023. How can we, in good faith, make that show of support when the people of Iran themselves no longer support the current Iranian regime? It is time for the government to stand with the millions of Iranian people and not with the mullahs.
Senator Keogan spoke this morning around the ongoing protests in Iran. I think, Senator, you said we're at day 55. You specifically mentioned issues around your own mobile phone and hacking that has taken place, and that is just unacceptable, just to hear that that has happened to an Oireachtas member. I myself received a letter from the Iranian embassy following the debate in this House that we did have on the Iran situation and the protests going on there. The letter was worded in a tone that I didn't think was appropriate to come from an embassy or an ambassador in this country to an Oireachtas member, and I didn't take kindly to it. I believe other members of this House may have received a similar letter. I'm not sure if it was limited just to group spokespersons or to those that had engaged in the debate, but let's be very clear about it. As a House, we are perfectly entitled to debate issues of that nature. I stand completely over the remarks of all of us in this House and the wording of that motion, which was modelled on a similar motion at European Council level, and we will not be silenced and we will not be intimidated in any shape or form into not having our voices heard, and we will continue to debate, discuss and highlight the ongoing human rights abuses and atrocities that are taking place in Iran, and just again to reiterate our solidarity with the people of Iran, the men and women and children there that are going through a horrific time, and in particular the women of Iran that are trying to just fight for basic freedoms that we all enjoy without even a thought in this country. And just to acknowledge the loss of life, the 550 people, 41 of those children, my heart and my sympathies go to the families and the communities. It's just an appalling loss of life and still ongoing.